Good morning, everyone. Today, our presentation will be on the topic of e-waste and its management. This will be presented by Shayan Bhattacharya, Moinak Mondol, and Anindita Kundu. We will be explaining what e-waste is and how it is collected, sorted, and recycled. We will also be discussing about its problems and solutions. So, what actually is e-waste? E-waste or electronic waste is created when an electronic product is discarded after the end of its useful life. The rapid expansion of technology and the consumption of driven society results in the creation of a very large amount of e-waste. Every waste has its impact on society, and so does this. Discarded electronic materials can lead to several environmental and health hazards, like electronics containing toxic materials such as lead, zinc, nickel, barium, and chromium. If e-waste is warmed up, toxic chemicals are released into the air. Electronic waste is thrown away in landfills. The toxic materials seep into the ground and affect our lifestyle. Only small percent of cell phones are recycled. Waste will always be produced and it can never be stopped, but it can definitely be controlled through various steps. We can reuse and reduce e-waste intelligently with the help of technology. Intelligent trash bins are being used to identify the type of waste. RFID tags are tracking total waste generated and collection timings. Autonomous robots are working as waste sorters to sort. Using computer vision, sorted items are recycled. Then these recycled items are used in making new devices, etc. India, being the largest country, is also the fifth largest electronic waste producer in the world. Approximately 2 million tons of e-waste are generated annually, and an undisclosed amount of e-waste is imported from other countries around the world. This is why we should opt for more sophisticated approach for the collection of e-waste like Europe. Europe has opted for intelligent collection of e-waste. This helps in more organized way of collecting waste. The ways are municipal collection schemes for recyclable and hazardous household waste. Additional take-back scheme by retailers in Belgium and France, take-back through reuse centers. In Greece, scrap dealers are a relevant collection avenue. To intensify these collections by offering a better collection service to households and providing more collection to motivate citizens for collection will help in long run. So here we can see the stat of collection, the amount of success using these previously mentioned ways of collecting e-waste. In the first column, we can already see the name of the countries: Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, and Greece. In the second column, we can see the e-waste generated by these countries annually. And in the third column are the numbers in which these e-waste are collected on an annual basis through the above mentioned processes. If these mentioned processes are followed yearly in a regulated manner, then this collection can be increased by quite a large number. But before the waste is recycled, such waste must first be separated into ultra pure material fractions. This process is called sorting. Thanks to the possibility of combining various sensors and artificial intelligence, one single sorting system can often handle a variety of sorting tasks. Sorting can be of two types: manual or automatic. In manual separation, we can already see we use human laborers as sorters. They are used to separate different types of waste through hands without the help of any machine. Then we move on to magnetic separation, that is shown in the slide. Magnetic separation, that is, most electronic materials are magnets or contain metals which can be difficult to separate manually. Magnetic sorting helps to make this work easier. Then we move on to advanced separation. The form of sorting where artificial intelligence is used is known as advanced separation. The power of artificial intelligence is being brought to bear on the labor-intensive activity of waste sorting by a Finnish company which has developed a brain that manages the functioning of waste picking robots, which we'll be discussing in the next slide. Zen Robotics has come up with the world's first robotic waste sorting system. Zen Robotics was founded in 2007. It is a Finnish high-tech company specializing in robotics recycling technology. The company's main product is Zen Robotics Recycler, a waste sorting system which separates raw materials from waste. It employs artificial intelligence for smart recycling of waste materials. Using computer vision, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, the robot can sort and pick recycled materials from moving conveyor belts. According to the company, a heavy picker robotic arm can pick off a conveyor belt about 2,000 to 4,000 items of waste per hour. By comparison, an experienced manual picker might be able to reach a rate of 200 picks per hour. Robotic waste sorting can also work 24 hours per day, thus hugely increasing the volume of waste sorted compared to manual picking. The speed and efficiency of picking are not only the benefits of Zen Robotics. Behind the robot arms is the eco-innovative Zen brain. Via sensors, this compiles information on the waste stream that is being sorted and feeds data to the picking arms. Over time, as more waste is being processed through the system, the brain identifies more waste systems and substreams. The identification and separation process can run to dozens, even hundreds of material types. We can expect a significant decrease in e-waste if traditional techniques are replaced with automated intelligent solution and sorting robots. Now I will be handing over the presentation to Moina. He will be explaining it further.
So now we are going to discuss about recycling of e-waste and how important it is for the environment. Recycling is a process that seeks to recover material from electronic waste. This way we can use them in new electronic products. It serves a lot of useful purposes. For instance, protecting human and environmental health, for keeping those devices out of landfill. So after the waste is sorted, it is sent for recycling so that it can be used in new product in a very less harmful way. As we can see in this slide, the various material that can be obtained by recycling. Plastic material may be retrieved and sent for recycling. The recyclers then use the plastic materials to manufacture items like plastic slipper, plastic tray, insulator, equipment holder, and much more. We can extract glass from computer monitors and television. Metal can also be retrieved and recycled to manufacture newer steel products. We can recover aluminum from hard disks. These are particularly useful for automobile industry. Also, we can take the scrap batteries to specialist recyclers to recover cadmium, steel, nickel, and cobalt for reuse in new batteries. They are also useful for fabricating stainless steel. Apart from the listed object, there is an endless list of other objects. But overall, there is a kind of hack to recycling any item or component. And no, e-waste recycling is not a one-size-fits-all approach. However, there is a general way to go about it. So how is e-waste recycled? Let's get right to it. Recycling electronics is often challenging activity. This is because e-waste is typically sophisticated and manufactured in diverse elements such as metal, plastic, and glass. While the process often varies, there is a general process. Now I'll be summing up the general process of recycling. Collection is the first stage of recycling. Here the recyclers place take-back booths or collection bins in specific places. When these bins get filled, the recyclers then transport the e-waste to recycling facilities and plants. Sorting is the second stage. Here the material get categorized into core materials and components. Then these items get sorted into various categories. Typically, these categories include items that we can reuse as they are and that those are sent for further recycling processes. The final stage is preparing recycled material for sale. Here the material separated during sorting gets prepared for sale as new raw material to produce new electronics. Here is a statistic of how much e-waste is generated every year and how much is actually recycled. This illustrates that the recycling activities are not keeping pace with the global growth of e-waste. In 2019, approximately 3.6 million metric tons of e-waste was generated, and it is estimated that the amount of e-waste generated will exceed 74 million metric tons by 2030. This slide depicts how poor the growth of recycling is, and still we're not taking the issue seriously, which can lead to further environmental hazards. In 2019, the formally documented collection and recycling was around 9.3 million metric tons, thus 17.4% compared to the US generated. It grew with 1.8 million metric tons since 2014, an annual growth of almost 0.4 million metric tons. However, there is the total US generation increased by 9.2 million metric tons with an annual growth of almost 2 million metric tons. The statistics on e-waste collected and recycled are based on the data reported by the countries. The large majority of e-waste generated was most likely not formally collected and not managed in an environmental sound manner. The flows are not usually documented. This lack of data on formally collected and recycled e-waste implies that most of the e-waste generated in 2019 is managed outside the official system, and in some cases it is shipped to developing countries. In households of higher income countries, small size electronic can end up in normal waste bin, and it is disposed in municipal solid waste. Therefore, it is not subjected to proper recycling and resulting in a loss of material. Now I'll be handing over the next topic to Anindita, and she will be explaining what are the solutions for better management of e-waste.
Management of e-waste is difficult, but it is not impossible. What we need now is systematic change. It's not effective enough to rely on fragmented recycling programs and voluntary corporate initiatives. We need collaboration, data, political will, and a hefty dose of positivity as we confront obstacles head on. So, what can be done? We can spread awareness among people. We should try to increase collection capabilities. We can request the government to open up automated recycling facilities. So, why is recycling of e-waste good? It is because it provides cleaner environment. Recycling the waste from electronics saves space in the landfills and prevents the environmental pollution caused by the toxins. Recycling also reduces the need for landfills in the first place. Recycling is good for the economy. Goods made from recycled materials use less water, create less pollution, and uses less energy. Recycling also reduces the production cost of goods by avoiding manufacturing components from scratch. Reuse of resources. Electronics contain a lot of components that can be reutilized sometimes without any processing, saving resources and energy required for initial manufacturing. A lot of big companies like Apple have their own recycling facility where they dispose of electronics for future reuse, and this is something that all big companies should strive for. Then what conclusion can be drawn from the previous slides? Our lack of initiative in e-waste management has resulted in many recyclable precious items being thrown into dustbins, which have ended up in landfills. It is the need of the hour to reduce, reuse, and recycle e-waste. Gold, silver, and other precious metals can be obtained by recycling e-waste. Non-recyclable items can either be sent to landfills or burned under controlled environments. We can expect a significant decrease in e-waste if traditional techniques are replaced with automated intelligent solutions and sorting AI robots. As sensible individuals, we should reduce e-waste and make others aware of its value. In addition to the harmful effects of e-waste, this is important to save our lives and the environment. It was a great opportunity to work on such a project. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.